Guys, you know me and you know that I'm very, very far from being a tyrant. But today I want to talk about a very, very amazing collection which has been put together by a particularly wealthy, discerning collector and Larry and Ira Goldberg, the auctioneers. And what ties this video together is this package is a coin that I won at an auction from a recent Larry and Ira Goldberg auction. They're in California, and I've just had it delivered this morning by FedEx to me in Florida. And one of the things that the Goldberg auction company have done is helped this collector put together the most amazing and magnificent collection ever made, probably the most expensive collection of coins in private hands over the last 15 years. And they produced a little booklet, and I asked them to pop one of the booklets in here so that I could take a look at it. There's also lots of information on the web about the Tyrant Collection. But before I show you my little, very non-tyrant-ish pickup from the auction, I do want to show you a little bit about the Tyrant Collection. So it's going to be a collection that is going to be shown at various Long Beach shows. The collection is going to be in multiple themed mini exhibitions. And the first one that's come out that was shown at the recent Long Beach show is this Tyrants of the Thames. So the Tyrant is the collector. The Tyrants are meant to be, in this case, all the British kings and queens, including Oliver Cromwell and others. And I know they weren't really tyrants, or many of them weren't really tyrants, but it's kind of artistic license, I guess, to some extent. Lovely little paper catalogue here, which is a great reference to all of these amazing coins. And the collection picks out different coins going from the first British monarch right up to Queen Elizabeth, and picks out as amazing and important collections as it can. For example, well, I'll try and pick out a few of them. You'll really need to look at the website if you want more information. I'll leave the website address below this video so you can reference it more easily. This one is the Charles I Triple Unite, and I think it's basically the only one of these kind of coins that's survived, this kind of massive Charles I coin. And you can see here there's lots and lots of different ones. It would take hours and hours of video to go through all of them. What I've done is I've just picked a few that I particularly like based on my own interests. But if you're interested in hammered coinage or milled coinage or particular monarchs, then there is something in the collection for you, because it pretty much covers absolutely everything. My particular interest, I guess, starts with milled coinage and maybe George III. So that's kind of where my interest tends to start. But I know a lot of people know a hell of a lot more than me about some of the older stuff as well. So I just want to pick out a few coins that I love. I love proof sovereigns, as you'll see in my my little pickup anyway. 1817, 1818, two proof sovereigns from the first 2 years of the modern sovereign. Very, very expensive, very, very beautiful coins. Maybe one day I'll be lucky enough to have, just one of these types of coins in my collection. One can only keep looking and keep saving and live in hope. But those are ones that I particularly liked. Although there's so many lovely coins, it's very difficult to pick out particular ones. I mean, it's interesting, for example, the 1911 sovereign, proof sovereign. There are a number of examples in the Tyrant Collection. They're all PF66, PCGS, PR66 coins. So he's tried to pick the best available coins for each of these different types. And you can see there the George VI sovereigns, and I've got a few of those in my collection, although his ones are certainly a hell of a lot better quality than mine. And I think he's focused on quality Although it was interesting to see on Queen Elizabeth, for example, that his 1989 is only a 69, and I've had a 70 graded, so haha. This set is absolutely amazing. This is Edward VIII. This is the only proof set of Edward VIII in private hands. I think one is at the British Museum, I think, on loan. One's with the Royal Mint, one's with the Queen. There's about 4 of them, and one got broken up, and there are various coins that were sold from that a while back. So amazing collection. Before I go on to mine, let's just take a little bit of a look. As I said before, there's a website, and before I show you my little unboxing, and you're welcome to fast forward and go straight to that, I just wanted to show you some of the highlights of this Tyrants of the Thames collection. There's the Una and the Lion, the 1839 pattern, very, very beautiful. And this is one of my absolute favourites. I would love to have an 1839 proof sovereign. Absolutely amazing. And this one's really interesting. This is a legal tender coin made by a Royal Mint for Alderney, and there was only one gold one ever produced, which was presented to Yoko Ono in celebration of John Lennon's life. This must be the only British gold coin with a mintage of 1. I'm pretty sure of that, although please correct me if I'm wrong. I thought this next one was particularly interesting. This is the 1953 crown is a pretty common cheap coin, but this one is a VIP matte proof. I don't know how many of those were issued, but probably not very many. And this next one is probably the rarest and most amazing coin of any of the coins in his collection, really. This coin is a large gold coin, reign of Edward III, and what Edward was trying to do is create a coin that could be common coinage for the whole of Europe, and it was a kind of doomed to failure kind of thing, and only a few of these were ever made. 2 of them were found on the bed of the River Tyne, and are now in the British Museum, and this one that was sold, and the most expensive British coin to ever be sold at auction, is the 3rd one, and the only one in private hands. So it is a pretty amazing, spectacular, rare coin, and probably pretty much the rarest coin in the country. So and it was managed to be picked up, of course, by the Tyrant, who bought it. It was graded in 2016 by NGC, and then he bought it at auction for an extremely large price. So moving on, we have the absolutely beautiful, lovely, lovely specimen in the collection of the Gothic crown. There's a very, very lovely and exceptionally rare 1853 proof sovereign. 1853 wasn't a commonly accepted year for proof sovereigns. There weren't very many around, and they were produced only for VIPs, I think. So they're extremely expensive and, as I say, exceptionally rare. So that brings us on to my little unboxing of a new coin for the Numi collection. It's nice that the Tyrant has very similar coins in his own collection, but this one is, as you can see, 1911 proof. 1911 proof sovereigns are a year that I particularly like. There's only about 3,000 odd of these sovereigns that were minted. Very, very low mintage. The George VI one, which is probably more widely sought after, is actually almost double the mintage. So this one is a little bit under the radar, as a number of George VI or George V coins are. And if you can find these coins, I think they're certainly very beautiful examples and much nicer to look at in a way than the regular circulation strike of the George V sovereign. So let's take a look at this particular coin. So this was, as I say, bought in the online auction. I think it was also one of these big auctions with people bidding in the room as well, and I bid for it directly over the Larry and Goldberg website. It took a couple of days to get accepted as a new bidder, and you have to give references of people you've dealt with in the UK in order to be able to bid, and they were going to send the coin over to the UK, but seeing as I was coming to the US anyway, I said, well, send it to me over here, and now you can take a look at exactly what coin I bid for in the auction. So there were two of these in the auction. There was a 64 and a 63. The 64 went for about $300 more than this. So I was surprised there weren't any bidders for this coin more than I bid. So I was kind of surprised I got it for my budget. And actually, I think it was a reasonable price, did pretty well. It's a very nice coin. And this one is a PF63. It's not the finest quality in the world, being a 63, but as you can see, it's a pretty nice example of this coin, and there's only 3,000 odd that were minted, so they're all nice. And the half sovereigns, which this one is, obviously they've got half as much gold, but they tend to be mostly a little bit under half the price of a sovereign, because the sovereigns are slightly more widely collected. So the sovereigns can have a slightly higher premium. The half sovereigns are just as rare. And I think this was a reasonable buy, and one to add to my collection. I think I've got another one already. I've got a sovereign which is a 64, and I've got another half sovereign, but I can't remember what grade that is offhand. But I'm always looking to trade up a little bit, sell one or two cheaper coins, buy something which is a little bit more expensive, a little bit more numismatic. I feel more comfortable doing that, and I know when I come to sell any of these coins, there's always much more interest by buyers for these types of coins compared to a lot of ordinary bullion type coins. So certainly this is the kind of coin that gives me a lot more pleasure to collect. So I hope you liked my coin, and I hope you liked the preview of the Tyrant Collection's Tyrant of the Thames. Let me know what you guys think, and what kind of thing you're buying for something special these days.